Hello and welcome to the tutorial of how to play the current game of Spurpunk as 552021. So Spurpunk, and this is a development build that is fraught with all kinds of little gray buttons that we will be ignoring and utilizing alternately. One of the first things you can do is run this. You can just go to easilydoneproductions.com/Spurpunk. I'm running this in Chrome on a PC. I've tried running it on Firefox and it gets an error. So try running it on different browsers. I haven't proven it yet in Safari, but I'll try later. So this is a WebGL build, and if you go to the lower right-hand corner, you can actually increase this to the full screen size, which is usually pretty good. So this is the splash screen stub in for now. You can hit start. It is effectively, and your screen probably will not look like this, but these are the debug buttons we will be using. Yours probably looks more like it's all blank or you go right into the game. That's fine, but I will show you how to circumvent that using the debug buttons. So we've prevented the players from just jumping ahead too much, and we've done that by truncating the ability to go to the menu. And this is the way to get past that so you can jump in the game and kind of see what the premise of the game is all about. Now take note of these buttons down here. These are the main areas for this tower defense game, and this is effectively a map of all the towns you have to clear out as you go along a linear path of progression. And this is a sort of a steampunk western theme with supernatural, spooky overtones. So debug level reset brings it all back to 0. So you may jump into the first level here when you first play the game, and what it does is it announces the monster that's pending or being introduced on each level. You hit the green check mark, and what you do is you have this guy come in, and he's, again, this is all stubbed in, so just click in the screen to get rid of him. He has a couple times you go through it. They guide you to build your first of the 4 default buildings. You've got a sniper, you've got a kind of a poison, you've got a cannon, splash damage, and you have a clockwork barracks for your minions. But you're only allowed to build this because it's all you have the current amount of scrap for. Scrap is the in-game currency in which you build the towers. So we can afford it since we have 100 scrap and these cost 50 each. You can build towers on these little square spots, which are the build spots. And there's the only places that you actually can build something. Now what I've done just now is I've called a wave early. These are the icons of the pending monsters coming. And if you click on this while it's green before the next wave happens, if you call it early by pressing that button, you get a little bit of a scrap boost, and then you are allowed to build other towers or more towers. So again, if I click on here, all we have scrap for is this sheriff tower, and I can build more of it. Also, in case this is sort of tedious, you have these controls up here where you can hit the fast forward button. So we're going to fast forward through this. You're going to shoot everything. So this is half the game, just sort of building towers. That's a typical tower defense. I'm going to call a wave early here to get a scrap boost. And I can build another sheriff tower even though I don't really need it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to box clever here because if we hit pause button, the menu button is now disabled and disappeared. And we have to go basically to level 2 to see that re-invoked. So I'm going to quickly hit it when we go to level 2, go to the main screen, and I'm going to quickly go down here to one of the middle of the 3 debug buttons in the lower left-hand corner, the one that says debug level select. And that's where we want to go. And we have to unfortunately kind of zip through it very quickly. Like I'm going to go to the menu and then hit that button really quick because otherwise it's going to engage me in the full tutorial and force me to play through the tutorial, which can be sort of tedious when you just want to get to the meat of the game. So these guys, the towers will make short work of these guys, and it'll say well done at the end, and it'll give you what you've won, which is 3 stars because you got 20 out of 20, and you get money here, not scrap, coins, and gems. And these are important because you will be crafting along with these elements. So you are rewarded these things at the end of every level. And you can go into a crafting, not crafting towers, but crafting cards. And that's what I want to show you next. So I'm going to click that, click the debug level select really quickly. See what I did there? And now you go into a magic thing that's behind the scenes Disney, which is you get to select the level that you want to play. So let's select something like level 19. Na 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 na. So this is the map, and you can see that these are all towns that I've conquered. And you can go to the right, as these are sections of a larger map. And you can see that up here, when you go back and forth, you kind of correspond to these 6 little slots as you move along. So there's 6 sections of the map, 10 towns each, 60 levels total on the first incarnation of this game. So as you complete each level, you are given a new monster. You are given possibly a new card, and I'll get to that in a minute, or you're given a new spell. So you're given something every new town to keep things hopping. And the ones with stars in them are the ones that you've completed. The ones that are locked still are grayed out, and the ones you'd have to go to next, since this is a linear progression, is purple with this kind of like little turquoise. So if I click on it, I can go to that town, but I more importantly want to go to the second part of Spurpunk, which is the cards section, which is only opened up later, which is also why I jumped ahead. So if I click on this, you can just click in here to get rid of the tutorial. We're stubbing in tutorials, and we want to kind of get past that for now. These are the cards. These cards you can actually choose by dragging, a la Clash Royale, into your hand, into your card hand. And you can click on any of these cards. It gives you a description here. It gives you what it takes to craft them to the next level for an upgrade. Right now we don't have enough money to get any of these things, but we can click on the plus signs and get more money, because this is all stubbed in of how much you want to buy. Suddenly you've got a lot of money, and gems. You can get gems. Oh, can you get gems? So you can do that stuff at any point in the game. And if we get enough coins, or gems, we can actually craft a card to the next level, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to grab these and pull them down into my hand. I can read up on what it does at any point so that I know how to use it. By the way, we now have enough coins and gems to craft these to the next level, even though we're not, which are down in our hand here. They're grayed out when you're using them, because they have these chevrons here instead of the element they are associated with. So you have to acquire all the elements necessary, the gems necessary, and the coins to craft your cards. So we'll just click on this, and then we can upgrade it. Yes. Okay, we're done. Upgrade this one as well. Yes. Why not? And boom, we spent all that we can. So I'm going to just drag this down and go to the map. I now have cards. And by the way, you can read up on any of these characters if you go to the guidebook. You can go to either the monsters and click on any of these incarnations. It'll show you the icon associated with them for the wave announcements when they're coming, and a descriptor as well as their health, and the corresponding towers as well, the different towers you can build. So that's the guidebook almanac. Let's go to this next level. I'm going to show you how to run this. This is a later level, and I usually call a wave early so I can get extra scrap. And then I build a barracks, and these automatons come out, and I can actually have their convergence point moved around. If I click on the barracks and then click on this locator, I get to drag that around. These are destructibles, these little brown towers. They don't do anything. They're actually in your way. You got to get rid of them. So you can clear out a build spot. So you can click on something and create, for instance, a sheriff tower. By the way, you can click anywhere in the grass, not the path, but the grass, and move this around because it is a fully 3D game. You also can click on another build spot. Let's build a saloon there. That's Poison Tower. Now let's build a barracks here as well. And maybe we have enough scrap to build a blacksmith. So that's the blacksmith. But the real important part here is that you have cards, and these magic cards get laid on the path to affect the monsters. So this bomb here is a gem bomb, and if you click it and hold down your left mouse key, it will only adhere to the path, but you can place it anywhere on the path to affect the monsters. This gem bomb will attract them, and everything goes towards it because it's attractive, and the minute they hit that, it basically, boom, explodes. Or you've got this one called a turncoat, where you can make the monster fight for you. It now changes allegiance briefly and fights for you. These clockwork barracks are catching these characters running down the path nicely. I've got a freeze card. I can freeze the characters. Gem bomb again. Boom. So we've got a lot of fun there. Some of the things about these characters, there's flying characters that the barracks don't take care of. So you want to use cards on them to sort of reverse them. Now I've turned off the sound in this, but if you're interested in the sound, you can just play the game. It has a lot of music to it. It's a fairly musical game. This card actually doubles the potency of any tower it's put next to. And this, with the turncoat card, you want to grab some of the more formidable characters and have them fight on your behalf. Now, the reason I've turned these towers to fight this mine is because it gives me a lot of scrap when it's finally sundered. I'm at 600 now, and I can level up my towers. So I'm leveling this up, and I'm going to level it up again. Maybe I'll level up the barracks. I'll level up maybe the sheriff tower. It levels up to different types of guns and more potency. So if I drag this card, which is the double, it doubles the potency of any card it's around. You can click on the cards as you lay them down and see their periphery of effect. So some things affect the monsters, other things affect the towers. More scrap, I can upgrade even more. Hopefully, maybe, no, okay. Maybe this guy needs a boost. And then I can place them wherever I want, including if I put them next to these destructible towers, they just kind of clear them out. So these are just minions that you can have grab, and then as long as it's within their periphery of influence, tell them where to go and what to do. Not all towers affect airborne agents. These guys blow up if you kill them, and then they sunder the towers, temporarily stunning them, and we're stubbing that in by just shrinking the tower for now. This may be a good time for me to upgrade? Question mark. There we are. So this is the whole of the game. At the very end, when I'm done, let me see if I can speed through this. You are rewarded different elements and different amounts of scrap and whatnot that allow you to craft your cards. So your arsenal of cards is very important. By the way, at the very top level, you have one of two choices of towers. And so this happens to each of these. They have not only a high level, but the highest possible level. This is going to be interesting. The highest possible level for you to choose what you want to do with your towers. And so it divides into two different ones. In this case, you got a shotgun tower, which is a formidable but slow-moving, slow to recuperate blast, or a Gatling. And in each case, you can see the tower transform. If I go to Gatling, it turns to Gatling. If I choose this one for shotgun, everybody got one. You can see it change there to shotgun. And this happens for each of the towers. So this one has a sort of a mortar and then a forge. And so if I do a mortar, again, it keeps getting exploded because these guys are jerks. But if I blow them up, then there's less of them. There you go. So this, when it comes back online, is a mortar, and it sort of blows things up at a distance, but it, of course, has the side effect of being fairly slow. I think we're near the end here, so I can show what happens. There we are at the very end. You get a victory, 3 stars, 20 out of 20, 600 coins, 3 gems, and these elements. So every card corresponds to an element, such as this freeze card is nature. So you need a certain amount of nature cards to level this up, along with enough gems and enough coins. So that's kind of the economy overall. Now this is the shop, which is another thing that we can actually move on, which is kind of cool. Whoops, let's not do that. So I'm going to go back to the menu. Shop. In this shop, you can buy items. So this card is released for you to use at this level when you complete it. This monster is introduced. This is a spell, and the spells are in the shop. You click on shop in the map area, and you go to this kind of shop run by Phil the Ghost. And what you do is you can actually open your gashapon. These are time-based, and this one actually you have to spend gems on. But what they do is they roll out different spells you can use, and when they're available and you have enough money to buy them, you can click on it. He sort of describes it. You say buy, and it goes down here to your pop-up menu, and these are one-time usage items that are called consumables. And once you get enough, you get a little scroll bar here, and you can use these in the game at any point, dropping them on the path, and they are one-time use things that can help you get through the game. Also, this gashapon here, if you have enough gems, you can open a golden chest, and you are rewarded coins. Keep clicking the menu, gems, and mechanical, and you're shown what cards you have available for an upgrade. And the last one is something called a special tower piece. Boom, and you get 3 of these every golden chest because it costs money. And you can see this sort of thing, it's been quadrisected, and every time you get a new special tower piece, it sort of reveals itself more and more. So these are special towers that have special usages, and now you can see that as you unlock them, they're getting closer and closer to being revealed. So if we buy enough golden chests, you can see that once we acquire a full special tower, there we go. So this one's called the Tower Knot, and it is a special tower unlocked, and it's kind of the way we monetize the game, because people come in here and want to buy this thing, and then they got to buy more gems. But you don't need them. These are not necessary to complete the game, but let's go back and use it along with our little spells here. Oh, yes, of course, since these are one-time usage as well, since we don't want people spamming the board with these, you can only use it once per level, and just like any of these spells, you click on it, it describes it, and then you buy it for a one-time usage. Yeah, it's kind of a combination of tower and one-time use item, but that's how we gate its usage, so again, people don't spam the board. But let me show you what it's like to use these spells. So we have a new character, Burnham Wood, which is this formidable ground pound character. And so I'm going to move this back and open up with a barracks, get some extra scrap by calling the wave early, move him over to start working on a destructible. He also kind of beats up anybody trying to get by him. And here I can make a sheriff tower, and also let's say a blacksmith and a saloon. So I got the sort of the triumvirate here, the quadrumvirate. And in the corner, these spells in the lower right hand corner, you can click on it and you can have any of these spell items that you drag, click, and then just drag on the board, and they will appear, like that TNT barrel. And it's done. We used it. These are extra troops. You can grab them and put them anywhere you want. These guys are luchadors. This is like the highest level you can get of the minions. This is a dirigible that you can drag onto the board, and it sends a dirigible to blow stuff up, where it's just kind of a smart bomb. Click on it one more time. Here is our special tower. Let me show you what happens with that. More money. The special tower for the Tower Knot. In this case, it's a roving mechanical train spider. What? Click on it, move it over to an open slot, and boom! It opens up and it comes out, and it is on the prowl for bad characters. So click on it and you can level it up. I'm going to freeze this guy because he's a jerk and make short work of him. Doubling up the potency of my tower. Boom. So once you get close enough, the train knot actually sends out missiles from its smokestack there, and it just sort of patrols the board going back and forth, and it can be destroyed, it can be leveled up. Again, each of the special towers is kind of its own, it is a way for people that have the money to buy gems, the whales, as it were, to have a certain amount of braggadocio in the game. I got this tower, did you? But the more I level it up, the more I have cool things that I can associate with it. These are the top two towers you can build into, and with any of the towers, including the special towers, you get to a point where they divide into two different types of tower. And here we are. So let me slow this down, just show off what happens here. In this case, we've got this is a ectopede. So watch the tower here as I click on this, and it transforms into something that actually rolls down the path and sort of has a spiky wheel that helps to destroy those monsters. Anyway, that is the whole of Spurpunk. It's meant to be fun. Let me know if you have any comments. Please listen to the soundtrack, and talk to you when you talk to me. Bye-bye.